All right, let's jump right in. We're about to break down a really powerful system for managing pretty much anything. But we're not going to start in some boring factory or a tech company. Nope, we're heading straight into a place that has absolutely mastered organized chaos, a busy restaurant kitchen. I mean, really think about it for a second. You've got hundreds of different orders flying in, all these cooking stations that have to work together, and customers who want their food like now. How in the world do they pull it off? Well, it's not magic, and it's not just about hiring great chefs. It's about having a truly brilliant system. Now, let's picture a kitchen that doesn't have that system. It's a total disaster, right? You've got mountains of prepped food that nobody's ordered just sitting there, wilting away under heat lamps. And at the same time, you run out of the most popular dish an hour after the doors open. This is what happens when you're just guessing. It's a recipe for waste and a whole lot of unhappy customers. What we're really seeing here are two completely different philosophies at play. The chaotic kitchen, that's a push system. They're just pushing out food based on a guess, hoping they get the night's demand right. But the really great kitchens, they use a pull system. Nothing gets cooked until an actual order comes in and pulls it through the line. The result is just so much better. Efficiency goes way up, waste goes way down, and your customers leave happy. So imagine a smart head chef sees all this chaos and has an epiphany. The problem isn't her cooks. They're all working their tails off. The problem is the system, or, the lack of one. So she decides, that's it. We're going to stop guessing and start signaling. And this, my friends, is where Kanban enters the picture. In our kitchen story, Kanban is just a simple visual signal. It's a super clear message that tells a prep cook exactly what to make, precisely when to make it, and the exact amount to cook. If there's no signal, you don't cook. It's really that simple. So, how does this whole signaling thing actually play out on the kitchen floor? Well, it all comes down to the way tickets move between the stations. It creates this perfect, self-regulating loop that just works. To make this happen, the kitchen really only needs two kinds of signals. First, you've got what's called a withdrawal ticket. Think of this as the grill chef's green light to go ahead and take a bin of prepped burger patties. Then you've got the production ticket. That's the signal that goes back to the prep station telling them, hey, you need to make a new bin to replace the one that was just used.
Let's just walk through it so you can see how smooth it is. So, step 1, a customer orders a burger. The grill chef grabs a prepped patty. Step 2, he uses the very last patty in the bin. Now, step 3, and this is the key. That empty bin, along with its ticket, gets sent back upstream to the prep station. That's the signal. Step 4, the prep station sees the empty bin and knows to make exactly one new bin of patties, which they then send forward to the grill. See, it's a perfect little circle, all driven by what customers are actually ordering.
Okay, this all sounds amazing in theory, but it brings up a really important question. If you're not just stockpiling tons of food, how do you know how much to have on hand so you don't run out mid-rush? Well, this isn't guesswork. There's actually some pretty simple math behind all this magic.
Let's make this real with an example. Fries. How many baskets of pre-cut fries should be ready to go at any one time? If you have too many, they go bad. Too few, and you're in deep trouble when that big table orders fries for everyone. Getting this number just right is the secret to making the whole system sing.
So the chef just looks at the data. She knows they sell around 400 orders of fries on an average day. It takes her prep crew about 2 days to cut, blanch, and get a new batch fully prepped. She wants to be safe, so she adds a 10% safety buffer for those crazy rushes. And she knows each basket holds 100 servings. That's it. Those are the only 4 pieces of info we need. And here's the formula that puts it all together. It looks fancy, but it's not. You just take the average daily orders, multiply by the prep time, then you add that little safety buffer in there, and finally, you divide that whole thing by how many servings fit in a basket. That's going to tell you exactly how many baskets you need. And when we run those numbers for our kitchen, we get our magic number. 9 baskets. That's it. This means in the entire system, from the prep area to the fryer, there should never, ever be more than 9 baskets of fries. This number acts as a physical limit on your inventory, which makes overproduction literally impossible. All right, now for the moment of truth. The Saturday night dinner rush. All that planning, all that math. It's about to face the real world. Let's see how our new Kanban kitchen actually holds up under some serious pressure. And this is where it gets so cool. The system doesn't just survive the rush, it actually makes the kitchen better. See, in the old days, if a fryer was running a little slow, the cooks would just make a giant mountain of extra fries to hide the problem. But with Kanban, there is no extra pile. The second that fryer creates a bottleneck, the empty baskets start to back up, and the problem becomes painfully obvious to everyone. You're forced to fix the real issue, not just cover it up. The benefits are just incredible. You've got way less food waste because you're reducing all that half-finished food sitting around. Problems get spotted in a heartbeat. Ticket times get faster, the whole kitchen feels calmer and more predictable. And all that money you're not throwing away on wasted food, that goes straight to the bottom line. But, just like with any great recipe, there are a few rules you've got to follow. You can't just wing it. These are the secret ingredients that make the whole thing work. First off, your equipment has to be reliable. You can't have a pull system if your main oven is always on the fritz. Your cooks also need to be able to switch from making one dish to another really quickly. Your suppliers have to be on time every time. And finally, the whole kitchen just needs to be laid out in a way that makes sense so work can flow smoothly. These aren't just nice-to-haves, they're absolute must-haves. And that brings us to the stuff you have to avoid, the kitchen nightmares. The absolute biggest mistake is seeing a problem, like that slow oven we talked about, and just adding more backup bins of food to hide it. That totally defeats the purpose. Other big no-nos are a lack of discipline, letting those tickets get lost, or trying to force the system to work when your equipment is just plain unreliable. In the end, our head chef would tell you that it's not really about the tickets or the cards. Those are just tools. Kanban is a control mechanism. It's a whole philosophy that's about limiting waste, shining a big bright light on your problems, and creating a beautifully efficient flow, whether you're building a car or just grilling a burger. So that kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Think about your own work, your own projects, your own team. Where's the kitchen chaos? Where's the waste that's coming from all that guesswork and overproduction? What part of what you do is just begging for a simple, clear, visual signal to make it all run just a little more beautifully?